Back with us on the Sportsman Zone. It's time for some football action in the English Premier League, continued on Wednesday with 2 rescheduled games. Manchester United are currently leading Brentford 3-1 in the second game. We'll get those highlights shortly. But first, highlights from the other game, Tottenham Hotspur against Leicester City.
Lookman, Daka, Lookman, and Daka!
If you don't take your chances, you get punished. It's a really good touch there from Daka. Gets a little bit lucky when the ball comes back to him. But he's a goal scorer, he's a finisher.
Robbed by Skip. And now Kane, who looked onside. He's got support from Lucas Moura. But he will not need him.
With his deadly right foot. And Soyuncu buys it, he chops back in, and that's a lovely finish. It really is. In off the far post. You can't say Spurs haven't deserved this, but how cool was Harry Kane?
Chowdhury, Tielemans, enjoying a feel of the ball. And great introduction for Barnes. Højbjerg. Doherty's up there. Matt Doherty! Oh, and in! Bergwijn has saved it for Tottenham! And how long will there be? Already into time on top. And Bergwijn's going through. And can he finish it here? Steven Bergwijn wins it! Astonishing stuff!
And then he finds the far corner in off the post. Super sub. That is a brilliant finish. It really is. Still has a lot to do. Great run, great finish. And Spurs, from nowhere, have won this game.
An incredible night at the King Power. Tottenham on top for so long, but it has taken the extraordinary to...
Yeah, so Tottenham Hotspur were flatlining the elixir, 2 glasses of Bergwijn to get them that 3-2 win at Leicester City at the King Power Stadium, all right? Do we look at the standings now, or do we go to Simon Evans, who's lying in wait? Simon Evans, you are out there, over there in the UK. Welcome to the Sportsman Zone once again, my friend.
Good to be here. Yeah, what a game that was.
Yeah. Two glasses of steam Bergwijn is what it took to give Conte's men that win.
Yeah. I mean, Spurs had dominated really in the first half. It was incredible that they went behind against the run of play and were really unlucky to go in level 1-1 at half-time. And then even more unfortunate, really, to go 2-1 down, although Leicester did, control the game much better after the break. But then Bergwijn with those 2 goals in stoppage time, absolutely fantastic stuff. Yeah.
Let's hear from Steven Bergwijn and then pick up this conversation, Simon.
Believe what's just happened?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, you still heard the fans. It was a fantastic game, and I scored 2 goals, so I'm happy.
To come off the bench so late, what on earth did the manager say to you?
Score goals. Create some difficulties there for the defenders, and stay close to Harry. So.
I mean, I think your first goal was 5 minutes into injury time, and then within a minute you threw on goal again. What's going through your head in that moment?
With the second goal?
The second goal.
Everything. I was so happy. I jumped in the crowd. Yeah, it's emotion.
And
Yeah, Antonio Conte looking like a genius with that substitution to bring Bergwijn on late in the contest, Simon. And as we said, he came up trumps. I want to ask you about Harry Kane, because the goal that he took, the turn to get rid of Soyuncu, who was running back, trying to get in position to block him, and then that assist in the centre circle right on the half line when he released Bergwijn with that through pass, representing the best of all that Harry Kane is about.
Yeah, it was, and he could have had a hat-trick tonight, actually. He had quite a few chances in the first half. A really good chance to put Tottenham ahead, which he blasted over the bar. But he showed exactly in those 2 moments. There's the goal, in off the post, but he knows what he's doing. And a superb through ball. Both sides of Harry Kane, really. His ability as a finisher, but also his ability that he's developed over the last few years into a real creator as well.
What's the most obvious thing that's different about Spurs, about Conte's Spurs compared to the Jose Mourinho Spurs?
Yeah, I think they're just a lot more dynamic going forward. I mean, Mourinho was about the counter-attacking game as well, but they didn't seem to attack with anywhere near the kind of intensity we've seen from Spurs tonight, especially in the latter stages of the game. But they're very quick at turning themselves into an attacking unit. They've got pace. You know, I think the way he's playing Lucas Moura a lot is Antonio Conte, and it's because of that pace. And of course, Bergwijn, when he came off the bench, that's one of his great assets. I mean, he's a super sub. It's easy to say after the event when he's come on and scored twice, of course. But he is a super sub to be able to bring on, because the last thing defenders want in the final stages of games is to have somebody as lightning quick as that.
Simon, I'm not a big Brendan Rodgers fan, I must admit, and it has nothing to do with his Liverpool antecedents and my Manchester United allegiance. I must admit, I liked him when he was at Swansea, but the work that he's done otherwise, I think it's good work, but I don't see in him the potential super coach that many people do, especially the pundits in England, who every big job they talk about British managers who could go across, they mention Brendan Rodgers. With that said, why is it that his Leicester City have been so wildly inconsistent for such stretches, such pronounced stretches of this campaign?
Well, it's quite a young side, quite an inexperienced team, and I think I disagree with you. I think he's done a very good job at Leicester City. If you look at their position in the league, if you look at their squad, it's not on paper a better squad than other teams around mid-table. Is it a better squad than what Wolves have got with all those Portuguese internationals and so on? There's a lot of young players, a lot of players who aren't proven at the Premier League level, and he's got some great results out of them. So I think he's doing a good job. I think they're a limited squad. I don't think they are good enough to be, you know, a European side like they were a few years ago. But I think he's building another interesting team there. Yeah,
I say this one to you, my friend. The thing is this. It's hard for any manager post Claudio Ranieri at Leicester City to impress me, because he won the league with a squad that nobody before he did said, on paper, this is a squad that can challenge for the league title or even the European places. So, you know, that's just what it is. Let's talk about Manchester United, though, Simon, after these highlights. Let's take the highlights first.
Tomine. Fred, Elanga, United lead!
It's a wonderful run. His first touch is great. Sets himself up really nicely. Again, it's a little tempter for Leicester. Thinks he can get there, but he can't.
Tomine, Ronaldo. Chested off into the path of Bruno Fernandes, who is on his way here for Manchester United, and Mason Greenwood does the easy bit, and Manchester United have comfort.
Just about keeps himself onside and has the simple task of tapping it into the back of the net and sending United on their way.
Stolen back by the determined McTominay, who nicked it on for Fernandes, and now here is Marcus Rashford to lash it into the roof and secure the points for Manchester United. Boy, he has thirsted for that.
Lashes it home to, I'm sure, secure the 3 points.
So Matic for McTominay is the natural change. Sorensen hurls it in. Pinnock! It's scrambled in, and Brentford, late in the day, have a marginal interest. It's United. Ralph Rangnick takes 100% of the points, really from 50% of the game.
Simon, Ralph Rangnick says that if you were to compare the performances of his team against Villa in the FA Cup and then Villa in the Premier League, you would have seen improvement. If you agreed with him that there was improvement between those games, did you see further improvement in this Brentford win today?
Well, in the second half, yeah, you've got to say scoring 3 goals away from home is a positive sign. From what I saw of the first half, though, it was pretty poor again from United. And they were lucky not to be a goal or 2 down.
Yep. exchange between Rangnick and Cristiano Ronaldo when the great man was substituted. United fans will say, well, we could do without that because it's just more negative headlines around the team. But what do you make of Ronaldo's willingness to make his displeasure clear at being substituted in the 71st minute?
Yeah, he showed some anger as well to the assistant, Chris Armas, as well, didn't he? And I think, you know, coming on the back of that interview the other week, that's going to set tongues wagging in this country because, you know, Ronaldo's interview where he was talking about improvements that needed to be made, changes that need to be made, and then said, oh, you know, it would be unethical of me to say which changes should be made. There was a lot of people reading things between the lines there and weren't quite sure what he meant. But then when you see him angrily remonstrating with the coaching staff and looking so unhappy with them, you know, people are going to start drawing all kinds of conclusions, aren't they?
Yeah, there was a point after the Rashford goal, though, where Rangnick went to the bench to speak directly with his star man, and it seemed to be taking the air out of the situation. I thought that on the spot, that was good man management.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be managed. Look, you know, Ronaldo's standards are so high and so much higher than anybody else in that Manchester United squad. He really expects the best from everybody, every game. And if he's not getting it and he doesn't think he's getting it from the coaching staff as well, then there's going to be fireworks.
Yes, indeed. Simon, you're a top man. You know, I rate you very highly, unlike Brendan Rodgers. And for the record, Simon, I'm not a fan of Mauricio Pochettino either. I don't see what people rave about, but, you know, maybe I'm just in a minority of one. That's the time we have, my friend. We'll talk again about many things.
All right, all the best.
Excellent. Yes. That's Simon Evans, our man in the UK, our football expert from Britain. So, Ronaldo substituted, upset at being substituted, and making his displeasure known. He could have waited until he got into the dressing room, but he was so fed up and he just let his emotions out. Mariah, bad of him to show his emotions there in that moment, or do you want players to be free to express their displeasure openly like that?
No, that's not acceptable at all, especially for a professional. And I want to say that that is just one tiny example of what is wrong at Manchester United. The fact that from the time Cristiano Ronaldo got to the Manchester United setup, you get the sense that it's very difficult to handle him, to control him. And it has a lot to do with the fact that he has achieved so much in his life. You know, he comes with this sort of air about him. He comes with results and statistics that speak for itself. But when you're a part of a team setup in any organization that you belong to, I always, you know, even for myself, I work with two people. I have to always consider that maybe, you know, how you would feel about something or how Lance would feel about something before I just go about the place doing my own thing. And I just feel as if that's what's wrong with Manchester United, and that is the reason why y'all are not getting the results that you should get when you have star-studded players like Cristiano Ronaldo. And that's why I didn't want him in Manchester City.
Lance? 800 plus goals for club and country, the greatest international goal scorer, the greatest official club goal scorer based on results that we can verify, has won everything in world football except the FIFA World Cup, individual awards galore. You don't win those things and achieve that status by falling in line with mediocrity. You stand out, you lead, you impose your will on proceedings. Mariah has made a good point, but considering what I've said, is Ronaldo not well within his right to make his grouses known?
Well, personally, I would say that I understand Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm not going to condemn him for his behavior when he was substituted today. But in the broader picture, it is not something that you want to see, especially in a current Manchester United setup where there are obvious problems that the coaching staff is trying to work through. And this sort of display by Cristiano Ronaldo, to me, sets back that process somewhat and causes unnecessary discontent with even fans looking on. But I know I accept Cristiano's personality and how he is, so I'm not surprised by his almost outburst, you could call it, what we saw today. But I think he should rise above that and not behave like that. That's just my personal opinion, but I'm not going to condemn him because I know how he feels, and he was expressing in the moment his disappointment, and he's not the type of person to conceal his feelings. So that's just Cristiano. I just know that if I were in a management position at Manchester United, I wouldn't like it. And I think I'd be in my right not to like it.
All right, let's take a quick look at the table. I remind you that Ronaldo peeled off his jersey and flung it to the ground under the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson. So he has previous for showing his descent when substituted. City lead the table, Liverpool second, but that's not the important bit. It's about Manchester United today. Their 3 points takes them up to 35. They have played a game more than Arsenal, who are level with them, but ahead of them on goal difference in the table. Spurs have vaulted to 5th with the win today, those 3 points. Look at Chelsea, suddenly vulnerable in 3rd place when we thought the top 3 places were sealed. But Chelsea, they say Stamford Bridge is shaky bad these days. So, yeah, that's a thing to look at. Brentford, with a defeat, they remain in 14th place on 23 points. Leeds have found some form, and Leeds have 2 games on Brentford, so they can supplant them in the league that you would expect if they take points from those 2 games that they have in hand, Mariah.
Well, still to come on today's show, an award-winning personality who's doing great things for at-risk youth. But up next, members of Trinidad and Tobago's Winter Olympic Games, bobsled squad, the Winter Games from Beijing, China, coming to Sportsmax February 4th till the 20th.